Okay, so my name is Intuit369. You can find me on YouTube. Yes, I am a psychic medium. 1 second, we're getting a message. So I am a psychic, so yes, I have got developed skills in this area, and I do prefer only to speak on topics that I have much experience on. And my connection to Source has become strengthened, and I truly encourage everyone to hear these words. My connection to Source has been strengthened by using nature. I found that living in suburban areas and environments wasn't allowing me to tap right into Source, and had to find ways. I've fortunate enough to be living in a location now where I have an endless supply of connection to Source. But for those people that aren't in an environment and they don't have that direct connection to Source, there's definitely ways that we can help you be able to still tap in and get your messages directly from nature, which is directly from the divine. So step one for how to connect with nature. This first topic I'm going to present to you is just about getting your head around the concept of why we need to connect to nature. Okay guys, today we're going to speak about connecting to nature. So it sounds pretty good, doesn't it, to be able to connect to nature, but how do we exactly do this? So if you're living a life in a way that doesn't support your ability to tune into nature, then you'll have to work at it. But there are ways and there's methods, and that's what I'm here to show you. So for starters, we're just going to discuss the concept. So you see, when you live in a concrete jungle in a city town, you may not have situational awareness and you may not be tuned into nature. When you walk along in these built-up concrete neon environments, you can lose touch with nature and lose some amount of your own natural instinct. This is because these city-town environments are designed to keep you safe, and they're designed to stop you from actually thinking. So what do I mean when I say that it stops you from thinking? Well, it stops you from tuning into your own internal compass guidance system, and it stops you from being able to actually tune in to and have situational awareness of the environment around you. So in a city centre or a town centre, you will have a certain amount of security as you walk along a concrete pathway or paved pathway. The pathway will be designed in such a way that you don't even have to think about using it. You just use it. That automatically changes and flips the internal guidance system in your central nervous system into a safe zone where it doesn't really start thinking. The pathway is usually level and sturdy. It's usually made of concrete or pavers, and you don't have to worry so much about slipping over, tripping over, negotiating any kind of native species of animals. You just walk along on your path, thinking within your head and not being in your body and not being situationally aware of the environment around you. Doing this makes you tune out. And this is what we call tuning out or tuning in. Okay, this is the pathway, I believe, to being able to improve our ability to tune in. When we lose that ability within these design environments, you lose your power from being able to think independently, from being able to have situational awareness. You end up becoming more so of a bit of a zombie, and you don't have that natural connection to your instinctive capabilities that we were all born with. The other disconnecting feature of townships and city centres is that your sensory nervous system will be impacted from the sirens and the alarms. Even the pedestrian intersection lights make alarming sounds when you use them. These alarms are actually alarms for our central nervous system, and they do distort our ability to connect to nature. The alarm sounds of nature are things like birds, thunder, and they transmit a different frequency as opposed to the sounds of an artificial environment. The sounds of a township or a city centre will have the sirens, the alarms, the pedestrians, the sounds of the traffic, all of these alarming sounds that are synthetic frequency distortions for our physical body, and it does disconnect us from our main connection to consciousness. So for beginners, if you want to learn how to start tuning into your environment, and relocation isn't even a factor here, that may be so, but you can still connect into nature even if you live in these city centres. Yes, you do need to try to reduce your exposure to alarm sounds in a city centre. There's plenty of other ways that you can do that as well. We can go into that further along this pathway. So we're going to keep following on about how do we actually tune into nature when we're stuck inside of a concrete jungle, neon environment. Well, if you're in those type of environments, all you need is a pot plant. Sometimes you don't even need a pot plant to connect with nature, because you will find generally that you will have bugs, insects, or something of anything, any type of animal from nature will visit you at some point in your life, even when you're living in city centres. So I definitely recommend and encourage you to use these methods. Tap in and just sit quietly with these animals. Observe their movements. Reflect on how that feeling that you're feeling at the time that you're observing and witnessing this scene that's being delivered to you in the form of a message from nature, because yes, it is all part of by design that you created before you came here. You need to tune into that and see what kind of messages you get. At first you think that this may be a little bit of illusion, this may be a little bit of imagination, but I tell you what, if you approach it with a scientific approach like I do, you will find that it will relentlessly prove you wrong, and that what you thought will actually eventuate.